meeting. I think if we stop talking right here, we may be able to hear each other, even though that mic system goes through the whole facility, and I think we might be just as well off this way. We made this move as an effort to save some money. Pretty big cost in the room rental. You got the pigeons right there, and it looks like we have quite a few people here because we're still in the pigeon hall. But anyway, we're going to start now. We're going to have an invocation and then get on with the meeting. So let's pause for the invocation. Father in heaven, we thank you for the hobby that you've given to us. We thank you for this opportunity to fellowship with each other and to look at what we've been able to read. We thank you for your creation, the bird. We thank you for your goodness to us, that we can enjoy our pigeons in the pursuit of happiness. Bless our gathering here, and may we be an honor to you in Christ's name. Amen. Minutes of the last meeting. What we've done, they've been mailed and distributed. I need a motion to accept the minutes as they were mailed to you. Minutes that we accept. What's your name? Say it aloud.
Whiting.
Who?
Whiting. Chuck.
Whiting. Chuck Whiting. Second. John Thornton seconds the minutes. All in favor, raise your hand. Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Report of the President. I want to look back just a little bit. You know, I think we're always looking back. We respect what's happened in the past, and we spend a certain amount of time on that. We spend a lot more time looking forward, but I think it's good to have a healthy respect for a few of the things that have taken place in the past. The quarterly review is probably one of our biggest achievements ever. We have a quality communication as a lifeline. It's the lifeblood. If you want to talk about a club being effective, usually they point to their wonderful bulletin that they have. And if you have a good bulletin, the clubs are always rightly proud of them because people like it. They look forward to getting it in the mail. And for years and years, we have tried to improve ours. And through the efforts of Frank Pova and the board, we have been able to do that. So we are very proud of the fact that you can now look forward with anticipation, receiving that magazine in an envelope, saving the looks of it, and so forth. We had a change in Secretary-Treasurer, basically a business decision with substantial savings for the organization, maybe $12,000 to $15,000. We broke part of those responsibilities out to give a person who is skilled in setting up the quarterly to do that. And that was a byproduct of that change. Ed Pointer and Lisa Keith have been doing a good job. We have daily accounting of our financial activities. We're pleased with the way things have been going. We have an effective board. I think you should know that the president and the vice president of the board, they work together well. We can almost say we don't have any malcontents. Usually on a board of some kind or a committee, you've got at least one or two sometimes. But we work together well. Our teleconferences allow us to get a lot of work done, and there's harmony as we work together. We don't always agree, of course, but there's still harmony in our disagreements. The 4-H has been moving forward, and Kim Bartz and the club are continuing to explore ways to be more effective, not just the 4-H, but our youth programs. We've expanded the committee to give her some help on that. As far as our vision is concerned, we want to continue to improve the quarterly. You will see the amount of color being doubled in the upcoming issues. More color. We have the Legacy Trust Fund. That is going to be one of the biggest things that we're pushing and promoting. We'll have a little bit more on that later. We have a DVD in progress. Jim Jenner, who's doing that, is here. He'll be speaking at the banquet, and he'll touch on that a little bit tomorrow at the banquet. The NPA is supporting the American Pigeon Museum and Library. We're going to raise the band price 5 cents 3 cents of which is going to go to the museum. The museum has woken up. It's been in the making for maybe 20 years, but the last year and a half, with Rick Barker on the board, Fancy Pigeon guy, Joel Kincaid, Brad Child on the board, things have really begun to happen. We intend to keep that going forward. Likely have a home for us. Some of this is still in the negotiation stage. Johnny and Johnny and Amy will give you some more information on that. I think that it'll give us a home for our historical memorabilia that gets shipped in boxes from secretary to secretary now. I think more credibility will be created in the hobby when we have something good that we can look forward to, point people to the American Pigeon Museum and Library. So it's basically just a beginning. We're going to really help build that thing up. They need us. We're glad they're there. One of the biggest pushes for them, by the way, is Ed Pointer and his construction company building that building for way less money than anybody else could bid on it. One of our Fancy Pigeon contributions to that great building that is there in the museum. All right, a few more things will be coming up on the Legacy Fund, but that's it for my report. We'll hear from our Secretary and Treasurer, Ed Pointer.
I have copies of all this up here right now. As it stands, the NPA has $36,743. What is owed to us is $32,000, so it brings us up to $69,738. That's what kind of income we're generating right now. But I have it all broke down of what all we've done, what bands we've sold, memberships, and all that other kind of stuff. The other thing I want to bring up is that we are the plastic coated bands. We do have them here. They're available in all the sizes that you want, 7 through 13. I'll have a limited number of them, so if you want some, you need to get over there pretty quick and get them. But we have more at home if you get home and you think you might want some. But I'll have everything up here, and if you guys, after you got any questions, I'll be happy to answer you.
All right. Any further questions? Yes.
Just a couple of questions, John. Number one, if those bands go up a nickel, does that mean the plastic coated one will be 55 cents a piece next year?
45. Yeah, everything's going up 5 cents.
And then the other question, on the basis of how many bands are sold each year, how much money will we generate for the Pigeon Museum?
Well, we have been selling roughly 4,000 bands. About 400,000 bands. 400,000 bands. 12,000, 10,000 to $12,000
A year.
a year. Yeah. And John has some more info on that. So on those two reports, President's report and Secretary Treasurer's report, I need a motion that we accept those. Michael, that we accept the report of the President, Secretary, Treasurer. Second by Harris here. Michael. All in favor, signify by raising your hand. Opposed? Carried. Thank you. All right, we'll have a series of reports from the Vice Presidents first, and then Directors 1 through 10. So I think you guys know your order. I don't have to jump up and say now 3, 4, 5. So the Vice Presidents and Directors 1 through 10.
Yeah, whoever's here. The first thing we'd like to do is thank the Florida group who's done a lot of work with this show. And if they would...
We'd like to thank the folks that helped put on the show, the Fanciers that were from Florida, and anybody else who came in to help. I'd actually like you to stand because you put a lot of work in at the last minute. So if you could stand, we'd like to give you a round of applause.
Okay, John touched touched on the support that we are going to give to the American Pigeon Museum a little bit. What we will actually be doing is, like he had said, 3 cents per man sold beginning in 2013 will go to that museum. What we can expect is there's 4 pods, one in each corner. They're approximately 400 square feet per. We're going to get one of those for a lot of our stuff. This year when I visited the Secretary's office, we have a lot of old stuff there that's pretty interesting. You know, show catalogs from 1930, stuff like that that just is in boxes and it just gets transferred from secretary to secretary. No one even sees it. It was pretty surprising to see a lot of that stuff. That'll give us a place to put that kind of stuff. People can actually see it rather than, you know, it's too hard to bring to nationals with all the other stuff. So along with that, we'll sort of have a place for our NPA stuff, for lack of a better term.
A history of the NPA, if we go all through that, showing where we were, where we're going.
Now that is beginning in 2013. Next year, by June 1st, I believe, we're going to give them a $6,000 donation because by the time this got passed, we had already sold bands for this year, so we couldn't cover our costs, obviously. So we will be giving them a $6,000 donation just to let them know that, you know, we're in, we want to be part of it, so they have our, and then support for that. So we will be doing that in the spring. I believe the museum will be opening sometime this year, February maybe, Joel, from what I've heard.
They don't have a firm date yet. They're still finishing up some of the cosmetic stuff around it. It's starting to look like.
They're extremely close, and it's a beautiful facility. I know a few of you have been here, Mike. A few of you guys have been there and seen it, and it's really a nice facility. It's great for pigeons. And fancy pigeons, there's a great opportunity because they are going to have some war memorial stuff in there, and they will have a few other things to deal with racing pigeons. But it's always been a bit of a misnomer that it's a racing pigeon museum and it's just for homers. Well, it won't be, because as we all know, if you're going to have a museum, you just can't have a picture of a lot of blue bar or blue check racing homers on the wall. That starts to look like the same thing. They're going to need fancy pigeons and they're going to need fancy pigeon exposure. So, and also we are the first organization to jump on board as an organization. A lot of racing homer fanciers have obviously gotten them to where they are, but we'll be the first major organization to support them as an organization. So I think it'll be, you know, really good for the NPA moving forward, and also the World of Wings. We need each other.
Covered everything.
That's,
Yeah, thanks.
sorry, there's more.
While we're up here, we do have a board member here from the American Pigeon Museum. Joel,
Yeah.
is there anything you would like to add?
Be more specific.
Be now more
I don't know if
knowledgeable
any of you
on-
guys know me. My name is Joel Takeda. I'm with Wolf Board of Directors. For those of you that haven't been following around the review, we're coming into the finishing stages of the actual building. There's 4 pods in a main area that was designed by Gil Rand, who was vice president of the Birmingham Roller Club, and Ed Pointer. We got Ed Pointer in there for construction. Rick Barker is on the board, and Brad Childs. One thing that we kind of, fortunately, Rick kind of got us in there because the fancy guys kind of had an idea more or less what we were looking for in a museum. Now, the intent of the gentlemen that we're working with that are AU members was to make the museum, but in reality, they didn't really have a concept of what they were going to do for a pigeon museum. Using Solfrank's Museum in Germany as a template, and Rick Barker and Brad also did some slideshows and demonstrated to them about what we actually thought would transpire. Once they kind of got an idea of what was going on, I think they came to the same conclusion that Solfrank did in Germany. It's like, even though a lot of the funding and stuff that had helped to go into the museum was supplied by the racing homer community, the racing homer community didn't support it in Germany. And the people that actually supported it were the fancy pigeon people from the countries surrounding Germany and from the United States when people came on in. So we've been trying to, and I think we've been very successful in conveying our message of what a museum for pigeons and their historical significance to man could be, and the influence that could have. One of our latest donations was secured by Don Barker. He's a big AU racer. For some, I don't know, he donated a lot of stuff, so I don't know if we've got an exact total on that donation, but it comes
About $90,000.
it comes to a little over $90,000. And the thing that sold him, what, you know, as Amy says, I like to talk about pigeons and go on rants, but we had Rick and I had talked about a timeline type concept in the pigeon house, or in the museum as you come in, and starting with Moses. I mean, how much farther back do you got to go? Or Noah, I should say, not Moses, but with the dove finding land for them on Mount Arafat, and then progressing through the centuries with everybody. I mean, Rothschilds, everybody. And he had never conceptualized that before, and that brought him on, and he wanted to be a part of it. This is something that I think the value of this, having discussions with Brad and Rick, to not the NPA, not the AU, not the IF, not the Birmingham Rollers, but the pigeon hobby in general, is a validation to others of why this is important to us. Why is the pigeon hobby and our friendship with these guys significant? And why do we think it's worthy of a museum? And why do we think it's worthy to show that to other people? So, I mean, if anybody has any questions or anything, I feel deeply about this because I met Bondwell in St. Louis when I was like 13 years old, and I've been hearing about this museum for 38 years. They had been collecting money. They had $250,000 in the account, but they didn't break ground until we had 3 NPA members on it. So I mean, we're very proud of this, but it's not us. It's us as a community that's got to make this work and support it. And again, like I said, I think the importance of validating why this activity is important to us, to others, is the biggest benefit this museum could have to our hobby, whether it's the IF, AU, or NPA, or Birmingham Roller Club. If you have any questions, I'm more than willing to answer later.
We have one other thing, and I'm so sorry I missed this. Joe, will you stand up for us, please? We want to thank you especially for driving the great distance with all your cages to make the show possible.
One other quick thing, and I know the people who've been to the last couple nationals know the drill towards the end. We have a new award system where we pick best of 7 different groups and then a best in show. That judging will take place in the English trumpeter judging section Saturday. So please listen up for announcements on the microphone. We may be calling for a champion of a certain breed in order to get a group judged. So please listen up for those announcements, and for anyone who maybe isn't here from your breed, if you would just let them know, or come and see us at the front table there, and we can maybe give you a time as to when we expect to. Of course, that'll depend on when the judging's completed of each breed within the groups. But please be aware that we will be doing that Saturday.
While we're on the show, anybody mailed their birds U.S. Postal, please see me before Saturday morning, because there's some special instructions on how to get our birds back home safely.
Yeah, I'll be back, everybody.
get up here, state your director and your name.
Never thought I'd have to talk over Pigeon. You can hear me. My name is Tony Patty, District 1. I think that along with some of the other districts, we've done well in the district in terms of membership. I, as the director, have presented the NPA to exhibitors at various shows, sold new memberships, renewals, sold bands, answered questions, and I think it's been quite helpful. The two shining stars of the district this year, again, have been the Sturbridge Classic and the Faircount Show. Faircount, Connecticut, Sturbridge in Massachusetts. They were excellent shows. They were down a little in birds, but they had a lot of attendance, and everyone thought they were great shows. So the Little Roadie show is still hanging in there. It's been kind of a status quo show, but it still gives everyone an opportunity to get out there and show their birds and have camaraderie with others and buy bands and so on. I really can't speak for District 2, but we have a show that's virtually 5 miles from our district, and that's the Big Apple in White Plains, New York. Another great show that gets a lot of support from District 1, and we enjoy going to that show every year. We hope that it will continue every year. We've tried to be available to everyone and anyone who's had any questions or concerns about the NPA, and I will continue to do that. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Tim Stokowski. I'm the District 3 Director. We had some state shows in our district this year. We had a show in Fremont, Ohio. That was a state show of Ohio. Very good show, good turnout. Jim Fiesel runs that club, and excellent. We had a show down in Indiana. I don't know, is Mark here? There's Mark. Mark, you want to say something about your show down in Indiana? I didn't make that show, so I'd rather have him talk about it if you want to say something about it. Yeah, the state show in Indiana.
All know we had an election this last year, and I know that I thanked all the members that voted. We had a high-level turnout of people that participated and voted. On a personal level, I want to say thank you for allowing me to serve as your president another time with a significant margin. It's encouraging to me because it tells me that together with the board, what we've been able to do, you have approved that and you're giving us a mandate to move forward. So we come to the installation of the officers for this next term. So I'm going to ask all of the officers that are here, the incoming officers, to come up here, and we'll have you stand over here. All the officers, the new incoming officers, and Joel Kincaid is going to do the swearing in of the new NPA officers. Well, maybe Joel will first.
Oh, there we go, great.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, just stand next to
Behind all successful organizations is a common goal or a focused course of action. To assist in maintaining a focus, it is imperative and both beneficial if that organization has a strong leadership. The NPA has an elected board in which its members hope will act in their best interest and the best interest of the hobby. One person can formulate an idea, but it takes a group to implement a plan. Gentlemen, President Hebner has given me a list or an oath, and for this swearing in, I will state a few words, and if you'd please repeat them where appropriate for your name, and then I will continue. I'm sorry. Please raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, John F. Kennedy,
Do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
to faithfully execute the NPA office
the NPA
I have been elected to hold,
I am elected to hold,
and to the best of my ability,
and to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
And
the Constitution bylaws of the National Pigeon Association.
the Constitution and bylaws of the National Pigeon Association.
As a member of the board,
As a member of the board,
I will be an active participant
I will be an active participant
in a body that functions effectively as a whole,
in a body that functions effectively as a whole,
and I promise to exercise due diligence
and I promise to exercise due diligence
in the performance of my duties
in the performance of my duties
as described in the NPA Constitution and bylaws,
as described in the NPA Constitution and bylaws,
as it pertains to the duties of an NPA board member.
as it pertains to the duties of an NPA board member.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present your new board of directors.
All right, we have some new business, and I have some handouts, but I want to tell you about the handout first, because I don't have enough copies for everyone. They're in color. Let me tell you what's happened. With the Legacy Fund Trust, and with some of the new duties of the president, and the different things that are involved with the Secretary Treasurer, and the performance of the duties of the officers as relate now to the Legacy Fund Trust, which has been accepted, we need to dovetail into the Constitution that new Legacy Fund Trust. The other major thing that we have changed is to catch up with some practice that we've had for about 10 years. And that is as it pertains to the election commissioner and the secretary treasurer. For 10 years, we have been doing it this way, where the secretary sends out all the ballots. The Constitution really says that the election commissioner is supposed to do that, but he doesn't know who to send them out to, because the secretary treasurer has the membership list. And so it's been done since as long as I can remember, from the Averys on. They always send them out. Then when the voting takes place, the secretary treasurer does send the election commissioner a membership roster to know who's a member and who is not. Those things have been just rearranged in the Constitution. The things that the secretary has been doing is now under the secretary's duties. The things that, and you'll be able to see that in changes in color, and the things that the election commissioner has been doing for all these years is now under his duties, instead of mixed between the two of them. And then there's a one-word addition to the purchase of bands. It says band manufacturer / supplier. Another thing that we've been doing for the past 10 years, so that one word is added there. So I have 20 copies. The red is the deletion, the blue is the addition. So I have 20 of these. How best to distribute these among the people that sit in front, get the board has seen them, and the board has passed this. So the function of this is for you to look at this, and a majority, if the majority passes this, then this now becomes part of our new Constitution. So I'm going to give you all some. The board members don't need them because they've seen these. So
Said before, the Pigeon Fanciers of the Northwest are going to be welcoming you back next year to Vancouver, Washington. And let's get a couple things straight right now. That's Vancouver, USA, you don't need a passport. Believe it or not, that's actually been a rumor I've had to kill so far. You don't need any papers to come in. We have from the Washington State Department of Health, I guess you could say, we have a 96-hour rule. As long as they come in and go out, they don't care. It's 96 hours. We're not telling them we're having a for sale section. So, but we will have a for sale section, in case anybody wants to know. Those birds will be checked, at least looked at before they go in. We welcome you if you want to bring birds for sale, but we are going to check them. If you bring in something that's
Questionable.
ill, it's going to be asked you, it will be refused. We're not going to put up with sick birds there. It'll be in the garage, and I should tell you the dates. The show dates are January 17th through the 19th. If everything goes to plan, and I see no reason why not, we will be able to accept birds on Wednesday the 16th, somewhere around 2 p.m. Your host hotel is the Hilton in the Vancouver. That is also the site of the showroom at the convention center. It's in the same building. One of the things that can happen, and you're going to have to contact us. Say you're driving, and primarily this would affect the guys from Southern California, or I guess it could be Colorado or somewhere else. So let's say that you're going to be there, and you say, the soonest I can be there is 2 in the morning, and you don't want to leave your birds in the carriers all night. We can understand that. If we know, we can have somebody there and open up the showroom for you to put your birds in. Now, we're not going to let you go around, walking around everywhere. Oh, this is neat, or prep them, get the birds in so they can get food and water, and then we're done. Our overflow facility is the Red Lion at the Key, and Key is spelled Q-U-E-Y. All the prices are the same. Your standard room is $90 plus tax, and free parking.
That's just a host hotel?
Yes, free parking. As long as you stay at the host hotel, free parking.
$90 a night?
Yes. The Key is free parking no matter what. We will be running a shuttle. The Red Lion at the Key is running a shuttle. They will drop you off at the showroom and their hotel. You also will have a couple fill-ins. If you let us know, odd hours or something, we will do the best we can. And that's pretty much all we can do on that. The car rental rate is not bad, and since it is free parking, you may want to consider a set of wheels. It will expand your restaurant availability. The food is in the area, it's walkable, but that brings us to weather. And as much as I can't get around it, it's going to be wet and damp. Matter of fact, if anybody wants to take a bet on that, since you're there for 3 days, I'll take a piece of that action. If they want to bet it's going to be 3 clear days in January.
Is that Martin Luther King weekend?
Yeah, the Monday, yeah.
If it is, it's St. Lancaster. Same conflict.
Well, can't help that. And since we're in Vancouver, and I don't see a conflict.
What airport do we fly in?
Portland,
And how far is that?
Half hour.
not even that. As long as you don't get there in rush hour, 15 minutes.
The Portland Airport's right, Pigeon, bring up that.
Okay, we are going to have a person there that will pick the birds up like we have done in the past. And for those of you who don't know, this is our 4th national in the Vancouver-Portland area, and we've had 2 in Tacoma. So we kind of know what we're getting into. But we will have a person there, take the birds, put them on a trailer and truck, go to the showroom. They will be there waiting for you. You don't have to struggle and put them into your car. At this time, it is being hammered out. but the plan is, when you mail the birds in, they go directly to the Hilton. They will leave from the Hilton. I mean, you go in, the birds will come in, and we'll put them away. If you're come there, just mail them, well, okay, you can do that. But say it comes time to coop them out at 1, you go do it. They have a mobile station there. You go down, pay your fee, and the post office has them in their possession. We will be having some tours, and at this time, the tour committee is considering 3 tours. I told them only 2, so they're picking right now. I can tell you what the options are. If you think you want one more than the other, let me know, and I'll let them know. They're going to have a, one of the options is going down to Spirit Mountain Casino, real nice one. Possible stop at the Evergreen Aviation Museum. That's where the Spruce Goose is. They got a really nice display. A shopping tour. For those of you that don't know, Oregon, right next door, doesn't have any sales tax. So watch it, guys. Don't let the wives out with the credit cards. They'll max them out easy. And the other one is the Columbia River Gorge. If it's a decent day, it's beautiful. If it's not, you're not going to see much. It's going to be fogged in. I will be the show superintendent. My number 2 man is sitting right there, Dennis Manning. Our show secretary, which most of you probably don't know, is Trish Nichols. Very computer savvy person. If you are a club secretary, you will be getting a call from this lady, and she will ask you to approve your books when you're at the show. And she will call you in, and I'm just picking on you, John. You'll get an announcement saying, John Hebner, please come to the secretary's office. And she will hand you the books for the English trumpeters, and she'll look these over. Are these the way you want them set up? And
Do you do that in advance?
changes. We get the deals done, but there's always changes. Now, I said this gal's good, and John says, well, this is okay, but we'd like to have them like this. She goes down, goes click, 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 burp, 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 burp. There's your new judging sheets. Changes. Let's just say, Greg, that you come in and you go, oh man, I had this old German owl and it died. It was a red bar old cock. I brought a red check young hen. What do we do? It's not a problem. Click, click, click. Burp. There you go. Books are done. Modified. She can do it just about that fast. This gal is good. We have about 30,000 square feet at the Hilton. We don't imagine we'll be crowded. I hope to be crowded. But, and all the rooms are non-smoking. There may be a way around this, but I ain't going to tell them, and don't tell them you do it either. There's rooms and patios. They cost a little more. But as long as you're a big boy and clean up after yourself, and they can't tell, it ain't going to be a problem. You don't have to walk. Take the elevator right down and outside. Any other questions?
One last question having to do with air cargo, which more and more guys are starting to use. Have you checked to see if they're open on Sunday?
The what?
Air cargo, if they're open on Sunday. We have no trouble going in, but sometimes we have trouble going out. Now in San Diego, we were able to negotiate with Delta, and they put on extra people so we can ship birds out.
I can check.
That's important.
We have not approached them, but we can do that. That's not a problem. Anything else? Any other questions? I am around the show. You can hit me or Dennis. We got the answers. Low, or lower than this. Yes, I've already told them that they're going to have to change the filters. I told them at least once during the show. They're also going to set the temperature at 68. I know that might be a little chilly for us, but hey, we ain't here for us, we're here for the birds. And birds will do better at that temperature, they won't fall apart. I would suggest though you do bring an umbrella if you plan on walking around. You're going to need it.
I don't recall it being that bad. I've been there twice. I never had a hard time with it.
Actually, I'm betting on a high. In that time of year, our temperature ranges from a low of say 40 and a high of 43. It's pretty much just that. Not much, and it's could be quiet. Yeah.
All right, thank you. I need a motion to adjourn. By Greg Pola makes the motion, second by Mike Owen to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, carried. Thanks a lot for coming out. Nice crowd.